Okay, today we're going to read from 1 Samuel 12, verse 16 through 20. So we see Israel has been asking for a king, demanding a king, basically. And that was something God was not ready or wanted to give them at that season time. He said, I am your king. And, basically they rejected the Lord as being their ultimate king, and they wanted to set up a human king to reign over them. So we see in 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 16, we'll start reading there. Now stand still and see the great thing the Lord is about to do before your eyes. Is this not wheat harvest now? And I will call on the Lord, and he will send thunder and rain, and you will realize the evil thing you have done in the eyes of the Lord when you asked for a king. Then Samuel called on the Lord, and the same day the Lord sent thunder and rain, and the people stood in awe of the Lord and of Samuel. The people said to Samuel, Pray to the Lord your God for your servants, so that we will not die, for we have added to our other sins and evil of asking for a king. Do not be afraid, Samuel replied. You have done all this evil, yet do not turn away from the Lord, but serve him with all your heart. Do not turn away after useless idols. They can do you no good, nor can they rescue you, because they are useless. Okay, so let's see what interesting things Samuel says. He says, is it not wheat harvest right now? And one thing you got to know about farming and agricultural stuff like that is that rain in the wrong time, too much rain, or rain at the wrong time is actually bad for crops. Just think about that. The proverb later on says, like snow in the summer or rain in the harvest, honor is not fitting for a fool. And that's basically saying, in essence, we see the wrong thing, or the right thing even, at the wrong time can be the wrong thing. And we see it's not fitting for snow to be in the summer or rain to be in the harvest, and it's not fitting for a fool to have honor, as that proverb says. But then there's also a lot of other things that we may ask the Lord for that may be genuinely, legitimately good requests that are not necessarily bad things, but as Ecclesiastes, written by Solomon, later says, there is a time and season for everything under the sun. Meaning, there is a time and there is a place for the good things God has in store for our lives. But, if we try to grab stuff outside of his will or outside of his time, we get ourselves into a mess. Just like it would be a mess if there was rain on crops when they've had too much rain or it was not the right time for rain. And that's what we gotta understand. There's a lot of people, a lot of Christians, well-meaning Christians, you say things like there's a struggle with singleness. Many young Christians say, well, I want to get married and I want to find that right person for me. And that's just one example of the things we might ask for. Or maybe another thing is, I want to have greater influence for the kingdom. I want to have a greater, larger ministry. Okay, not necessarily bad things that we're asking for there when we ask those kind of things, or when a Christian asks those kind of things. But you got to understand, the right things at the wrong time can be the wrong things. And so it's just like it says, like snow in the summer or rain in the harvest, honor is not fitting for a fool. For example, let's say we want to have more impact, more influence, more ministry for Christ. Yet, there's some things the Lord might want to do in us first before he wants to use us to a greater capacity. Because what happens sometimes when we're elevated too fast? We grow proud, don't we? We get foolish in our hearts. We start to make it about us, and we get kind of a bit of an ego if we're promoted too fast in any type of thing in life. We see if somebody's not ready for a promotion at a job, and you promote them to be a manager or a supervisor or something like that, and they bungle it and they mess it up, they didn't have the proper training they needed to be in that position, let's just say. Let's just use that as a hypothetical example. But, the Lord also uses seasons of waiting to help us grow so that when it is time for some of his good blessings to be given to us, we are ready to manage those properly as we ought to. Why would you give your son or daughter who's like 12 years old the keys to your car and say, go, drive, have fun? No. You would wait until they've actually learned to drive and have effectively gone through the proper training to operate a motor vehicle. Or you wouldn't just give the keys to your gun safe to your 6-year-old son. You might one day take him out and teach him how to hunt and how to shoot and how to do stuff like that, but you wouldn't just say, here's the keys to my gun safe, son. Go have fun. No. No good father would do that for their children. No good father or mother would give the keys to their car to their son or daughter who doesn't know how to drive. And likewise, no good father or mother would give the keys to the gun safe to their 6-year-old son who doesn't even know how to properly use a gun or a safety or anything like that. I mean, it's just common sense. We know that as parents, we wouldn't give things, even good things, like a car, to our son or daughter who didn't know how to properly handle that. Now, why would God, our gracious Heavenly Father who knows all, who cares about us more than anybody else could care about us, He's all wise, He's all loving, He's compassionate, He's gracious, and He's much wiser than we are. And so when God decides to bless us with something, it's when He knows it will be right. Now, oftentimes, we can maneuver and Houdini our way around to get what we want often. And oftentimes when we do that, we get ourselves into a lot of trouble. We get ourselves into a mess, it backfires on us, and we have to deal with the consequences of that. So my encouragement, my friends, today is if the Lord is telling you to wait for something He has in store for your life, don't rush Him. Don't pressure Him into asking Him to give it to you faster than more quickly than He's ready to give that. Because obviously, if you have children, if you have sons or daughters, you know you don't want to give your son or daughter something that even you might think is good before the proper time. And so God is all about the proper time. He has chosen to work within the period of time, and so He wants to grow us and mature us into who He wants us to be, so we can handle His blessings when He does decide to give us whatever it is that He chooses to. We got to trust that He knows better what we truly need than what we think we need. We got to trust that He knows better what time we need it, better than we think we know. So, God bless. Hope you found this encouraging. Have a great day.